Season 3, episode 4.
Is it?
34, Walter Payton, one of the best running backs of all time, second best to Barry Sanders. We are, Restoration Club podcast. This is what we're doing, but 3-4 is special. I don't know why. Plus 7. 7's a perfect number. It's just what we're doing today. And guess what we have? Jeff Marsh in the house. It's the thing we've been praying for. It finally took us 3 seasons. But my friend is here. Jeff, tell the people hello.
I told you that we would have to do it in person.
And little did you know, Danny, we miss you. Sorry I had to make this thing happen, but we did it. We're gonna make it happen. But yeah, we are currently in Denver, Colorado, in the national parking or car rental. No free ads, but we're here in our car waiting to head off to Wild at Heart boot camp. Pretty pumped about that. But Jeff, glad you're here, brother.
Man, glad to be here.
Yeah.
I was saying to you a minute ago, if we sit here long enough, there's a good chance pigeons fly in the window. So we'll see.
Possible.
We'll see if that happens. But
live action.
That's kind of why. I mean, Masters Thursday.
Yeah.
It's literally the middle of the morning rounds right now. Scotty's playing pretty good.
Yes.
And we have made the bright idea to go completely unplugged, off-grid, all of Masters weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be wild because to not see anything after, I guess, essentially 4 p.m. Mountain Time today. You won't see anything until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but you know what? We already know what's going to go down. No, we don't.
We're here for it.
We're here for it. We're here for the excitement, but I think it's something better, whatever we're up to. You know, we're out here together enjoying this trip. Going to make some memories this weekend, but more importantly, just going to connect and kind of see what the Lord does. So we're pretty excited about it. But
yeah, it's gonna be good. Your first time,
yeah.
My second time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great things about it, but one of the really cool things was I went in November of 21. We were full time in the RV, just nomad life. I was in a pretty rough spot, not necessarily dark. Been dark before. That was more just a rough spot, but really went there wondering why I was there, why God brought me there, especially in that time I'd tried to go years before and I didn't make the lottery or I couldn't afford to go. But I think it was really the first 48 hours I just was pleading with God, like, tell me why I'm here, give me a reason, show up. I don't care what it is. I'm just ready to hear from you.
That's
and
awesome.
We had a midday break, beautiful November, fall Colorado day, and went for a walk through the pines, and then sat on this bench with my journal. And I opened it up, got my pen out, and immediately God just completely downloaded to me what is the vision of Restoration Club. And Restoration Club at that point didn't have a name.
Yeah.
It had only even been a conversation with Danny and Dave since that September, so maybe 60 days.
That's wild. Do you remember the first thing you wrote down by any chance?
I could tell you, I brought that journal.
Oh, maybe we'll clip it in later.
Yeah.
But it's really powerful, like you said, that there was a moment in time, remember, when you were always seeking God, and that's really important, number one, for the story, right? Because your own restoration you were seeking is something that you then spearheaded to create, so that way other people, other men could experience restoration as well in their life. Any I say simple, but like quick things that came to your mind from that moment where you caught that download from God that kind of you want to share right now?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just show up, which, cliche or not, God just wants us wherever we're at. Doesn't matter how messed up we are. I mean, we were just talking about Samson. Like, Samson wasn't a great dude, but God used him.
Yeah.
And he was, eventually he was obedient. And I just think of, like, if I would not have sat down and opened the journal with nothing to say, probably a little bit of an attitude, discouraged, pretty lost. But I just, in seasons of darkness,
Yeah.
I would put pen to paper.
Yeah.
And couldn't tell you most of the time what I even wrote.
Yeah.
But God would just lead things, draw things out of me, and then he would give me gifts of mercy and grace through that pen.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, when we least want to pray or get in the Word, sometimes it's a matter of just opening the Bible and just letting it sit there.
Yeah.
Like, that's a step towards, pressing into God, and he will always meet us there, always, every single time. We may not hear it.
Yeah.
We may recognize it years later. Oh, God actually did meet me there.
Yeah.
I'm just now seeing it.
Yeah. It's like that text I sent you earlier when we were talking about this trip, and it's like the enemy's trying to stop us and trying to discourage and to distract us at times from this trip, but realizing that God is undefeated. no L's in that column whatsoever, so it's pretty powerful. How did you, so taking that journal then, how did that then come to fruition? I've talked to Dave, I've talked to Danny, we've had these conversations on the podcast and in person, but how did that then navigate? Like, how does that even walk its way around?
I mean, it was really cool of God to do it there and then, because I immediately, after our break, went into another one of our sessions where, some incredible dudes who've lived a lot of life are speaking life into 550 guys, I think.
Yeah.
And as I entered back into that room and then just experienced the rest of the weekend, it was clear to me, like, this is a perfect blueprint of what Restoration Club events can look like. Maybe not 550 guys, can't fit that many on a golf course, but just the series of events that they go through and how they schedule days and the intentional conversations that they try and facilitate, and then just the life-giving nature of it. And that's one of the things that I'm so passionate about with Restoration Club is we've all been on buddies trips. Maybe not all of us, but many of us have been on buddies trips. We have bucket lists. We have a closet full of shoes. We have this whole draw to the game of golf.
Yeah.
None of which ultimately will satisfy.
Yeah.
Maybe for a moment, you're standing on this, I don't know, what was that?
12 at Arcadia.
But that was different. We weren't there just to check a box.
Yeah, right.
We were there to live life.
Yeah, 100%.
And I just, it breaks my heart to see so many people chase after checking the boxes of the bucket list and going on a buddy's trip and just losing their minds.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that happen on buddy's trips are honestly unspeakable.
Right.
And we want to create an opportunity for guys to be led straight to the foot of the cross.
That's perfect.
And that may not happen, on the 12th tee of wherever we're at.
Right.
But those intentional conversations may lead to, somebody ultimately giving their life over to Jesus, which that's why we do what we do.
I'm convinced that God is continually active. He's never just sitting still, and it's like he's always trying to speak to his children. And so I'm thinking whether it is the 12th tee, or whether it is a rental car, or whether it's a flight, or whether it's their office, or whether it's anything that's going on, God's trying to speak. We just get the luxury of having it tie into something that we're passionate about, right? And having it tie into golf, and using this space then for people to come and find restoration. Because golf itself has this whole restorative practice idea, right? You hit a wayward drive and you have to get out of the pine straw and you have to do something, and you got to figure out a way to do it. It's going to go back to fundamentals for you to actually go forward, just do the same basic simple things. And it's not always sexy, it's not always super full of dramatic music and wonderful stuff, but it's the simple thing that can move you through life. And that simple thing is that connection to our Creator. And that's how I think what I loved that you guys created from the first time I saw the first video was I really resonated with wanting to connect like that. So being able to connect with men and connect to things is super powerful. And so taking that, how did you, it's even the next fast forward a little bit, then taking that shared vision of what that is, how does it end up at Tobacco Road for the first Builders Cup?
I mean, really, from the moment I put pen to paper, there's just so many series of events that played out from that point to, well, that video came out January 28th, 2022.
Yep.
So that would have been a little over 2 months' time from God taking this like sort of idea or dream, putting vision, like clear vision to it. 60 days later, we say, okay, world, here's the thing. Here's a thing. And we're just following in obedience. We have no idea how this is going to play out. We just know the nuts and bolts of it. Like, here's the core foundation. From here, it's going to evolve and grow. And I mean, we just hit 3 years.
That's crazy because you think about it, it really is. It's a blueprint, right? It's like golf course architecture. You've got this broad blueprint you want to make and shape and mold and do, and you just have to take it one little bit at a time. And I remember that day being back at the old church at Pinehurst, and we're sitting there, and you guys are pitching the vision of it. And I'm like, something was just, number one, it just hit me strong. And I know what the something was. The Holy Spirit was like, this is what you need. And
we had a lot of pizza.
Pizza will get you. But I think just even hearing everyone's step of how it got there showed me that our entire world can be better with connected, good relationships. Because that room was full of people. I didn't know most of it. I knew 2 people at that moment in that room. And have blossomed into friendships, have blossomed into brotherhood, have blossomed into, I can say I love you, that I can call it a hard time and go in that. So from that journal writing at boot camp in 2021, 21, right? Okay.
Yep.
From that boot camp to then being there at Tobacco Road, then going to Tot and playing there in Pinehurst and doing the different things we've done has been really like mind-blowing, because even for the number of people that haven't been to a Restoration Club event that have now connected into the community.
Thousands. And from all walks of life. Even around the world. We had a cool conversation at the PGA show this year with guys that run golf trips in Ireland. Professional athletes, not just in golf, even more so outside of golf. NHL and MLB, retired, current players, and then every facet of the socioeconomic ladder. I mean, it's just, and that shows 2 things. It shows the global impact of golf, the game of golf. Golf you can play when my little guy's, well, he just turned 3, but he was swinging at age 2. My great aunt hit her first hole-in-one when she was 86. You don't have to have money to play for the most part. It's a very expensive game now. But God is also universal. And so you have these 2 very broad things coming together. It opens it up to where anybody and everybody can be interested or involved in what we're doing.
That's huge. Discord channels popping off. Not only is it just, but I think what I really love, there are 2 things I really love about the Discord channel. Is number one, they're all over the country, like those meetups and the local groups that we just launched a Wisconsin one, so that's really cool to see another one pop in. But all the different states, you could literally drop a note in, put a message in there and say, hey, I'd love to get together with someone, let's connect. And there's already a common bond. Already connected. And then I really just love that there's that pastoral prayer mindset too inside of it, that people can seek help, can seek direction, wisdom, prayer. Like there's a really just a beautiful piece of people that come together and want to do that for each other. That's like such a beautiful piece of how we've built this, to not just be, it's only event driven, but like it's now like those local meetups can be probably, well, just as powerful as a larger event is, because it's in the real, it's in the moment, it's in the happening. And again, when you invite God to meet you where you are, he will show up. There's no way around that.
Yeah, I mean, we just did our second, it's not what it's called, but second annual meetup at Grass Clippings in Arizona 2 weeks ago, and a lot of the same faces showed up, and some new faces, and guys that I know are strong followers of Jesus, and guys that I know are not.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't miss it.
Right.
And that's the cool thing. I just remember, like, growing up, I would pray. I would actually, like, out loud pray, God, I do not want to be called into missions.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an evangelist.
Yeah.
I don't want to. And there's a lot of reasons behind that.
Right.
But in a lot of ways, that's kind of what we're doing in the golf space.
Yeah.
We are a mission driven organization that is trying to reach people for a cause.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how much it's freed me up to be bold in my faith and have hard conversations with people that I barely even know.
Yeah.
But it's also done the same for those that are seeking. I was shooting the women's open last year and standing by the ropes, and this guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're Jeff, right?" And then he just went straight into, "I love Restoration Club. I love what you're doing." We talked for 5 minutes. I kind of gathered he wasn't necessarily a follower of Jesus, but like he was very interested in it. And just the fact that, like, he even mentioned Restoration Club, it kicks the door open to, at that point, I can, like, openly talk about anything I want.
Yeah, totally.
Like, deep. I can go as deep as I want about faith. I can challenge him. I can challenge myself in that conversation right then and there. It's kind of like a permission slip to just have conversations that you would never have on a golf course otherwise.
Exactly. Well, that's, I mean, there's another piece of the club. What's so cool about it is that, and I say cool like in a way that's the powerful piece, is that we don't hide behind faith and try to sprinkle it in and say this is what it is. No, like, you're going to come and you're going to meet Jesus. Like, you're going to be a part of the process, and we're not going to sit back on our faith and not talk about it or not be bold. I mean, no, we're not, standing with a bullhorn screaming outside of Old Barnwell saying, "Oh, you guys need Jesus." But no, like, when you walk in a way, and I think this is what we've seen from the teachings of Jesus, that when you just walk in your everyday life and you walk in a way that honors God, the people will be drawn to that. They're going to say, "Oh, there's something good about that." So whether they're close to him or whether they're fully so far away or just in the middle trying to figure it out, like, there's that invitation from the Restoration Club that just people just are easily drawn to. And I think it's such a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make it approachable, digestible. It's not, we're not holding hands singing Kumbaya. Like, we're going to play fun, good golf courses when we can, and really enjoy ourselves and eat good. Yeah. But we're going to be intentional about connecting people and just having wholesome, good, faith-driven conversations. Because you're not going to have those conversations elsewhere.
You said it earlier. You said the part about, like, guys' trips often are not things they actually want to tell their family about. But this is the kind of thing that my wife, when I come back for a Restoration Club event, she's just like, "You're better." Like, you're a better person. And now, of course, she's not going to say, "No, you need to do another one next weekend." It's a little heavy load to carry at the house, but it is something that I think when our spouses recognize that having a connection for men to have, in particular in our sphere of with the game, with faith, those pieces are so powerful that allow us to really, that iron sharpen iron thing is true. Yeah. You mentioned this is day one of the Thursday of at Augusta for the Masters, and I had my chance to go on Monday for my first time. Yeah. And it was unbelievable. Here's the crazy part, right? It rained, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's raining." I don't care. I would have done anything to be on the place, and I was. And so I'm standing there. I'm trying to take this photo of this umbrella. I thought it was really cool. And all of a sudden, there was a guy blocking me. He's like blocking my view, and I'm like, "That's annoying." And then I started to think, because all the rules around Augusta, I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to take a picture of this umbrella. And he's trying to stop me. So I move over a little bit, and he keeps getting closer. Finally, I just look through my lens again, and on the guy's face, and it's Jared Mervis. Rocket
Rocket
Man,
Man.
who's been a volunteer for 7 years at Augusta, is a member of the club here, has been at the Builders Club, so he's an amazing man. Jared, love you. But it was so cool.
He's literally right now standing on the 10th tee as a marshal.
Yeah,
like
terrible spot to be. So if you're watching and you're seeing the 10th tee, you're seeing him probably standing
right
there
there.
because he's
yellow hat.
yeah, yellow hat, as a
shaven.
yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
No.
But a patron volunteer out there, but such an awesome connect, and it made my heart happy. And the funny story about that was, and I hugged his neck and almost got really emotional hugging it when I told him, was because I was walking in going, of course, no phones are allowed. I didn't have a chance to talk to him prior, and I just thought, God, I want to see Jared today. Mm-hmm. And there it was within the first 30 minutes of being outside of the merchandise hall, which, I had to go get my merch first, that there he is standing there and seeing me. Like, out of all the thousands of people that are there, we saw each other in that moment. So it's such a powerful reminder that God hears us in the small whispers of our prayers. And so if you're out there and you're wondering if God really does hear you, there's another example that, even in that small little whisper of the thing I was asking for, he honored that, and there was Jared in the middle of that in that time. So what a cool time to connect.
And yeah, he obviously recognizes just that small desire that you have, which is actually a desire for something deeper, which is connection with good people, and that was a cool gift. When we went last year, I took my boy for our first time.
Yeah.
And I knew he was on 10T, and we came in the south entrance, so we worked our way up 13, 12, 11, 10. Finally got up there, found him. Robin Versada was there, Brett Gorney, a lot of people, and so I think we were on the 10th tee for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was sort of waiting for my son to be like, Dad, let's go see some golf. I look over, and one of the other, I think Jared introduced Indy to one of the other marshals, and that marshal ended up ushering him sort of inside the ropes,
right,
ish. And Indy's down there taking pictures of Phil and Joaquin and Max Homa, like all the players coming through teeing off 10, and like he was living his best life. I'm having a wonderful time, obviously seeing friends, watching all this play out, and it's like, people say that Augusta is a special place, and it certainly is. I wouldn't say it's a magical place.
Right.
Wrong word. But what made that whole experience was the people. Like, I could have gone there by myself, never seen a familiar face. Didn't have a camera, and enjoyed myself for sure. But
there's something Indy got to see. It was great. He was under the ropes and taking photos. That was cool. But he also got to see his dad, like, connecting to other men, which is a good example to lead. So beautiful moment. We're going to close it with this. We always have one question. Maybe that was your answer. But one memory on a golf course that does not involve a golf club. And that's a crazy question for you, because you've been on some crazy golf courses, experienced some amazing things. But for you, can you share one memory that really sticks out for you on a golf course that doesn't involve a golf club?
Man. I didn't grow up playing golf, but ended up really just falling straight into pro golf when I caddied for my friend in 2006. So that's 19 years of very colorful history with the game in a lot of different facets. For some reason, the first one that pops into my mind, and I think this was a moment where I just recognized, like, God was bringing me into the golf space in a pretty radical way, and was clearly opening up doors that I'd never in a million years dreamed that I would be doing. But Wingfoot, US Open 2020, no fans. So bizarre. I actually had to stay outside the ropes because it was like people that were working the event and the volunteers, that was it. Really strange for the the biggest golf championship of the year. And I look at one point, we're on the 18th green. I think it was maybe Saturday evening. So all the media, which is not very many, is kind of around the green. typically they'll credential like 150
Yeah.
photographers. That week it was 14.
Hmm.
I was one of them, by God's grace. And I look, to my right, I look to my left, and all of the other photographers have dozens of Sports Illustrated covers.
Yeah.
The video guys have all won multiple Emmys.
Hmm.
And then there's me.
There's Jeff.
And while I knew that I had I believed that I had the skill to be there, my initial thought was I don't belong here. And I just remember God saying, like, yeah, you actually sort of do.
Yeah.
That's why you're there. And you've worked hard to earn your place here, but also, you're here because I put you here for such a time as this. And this is the beginning of what's going to be something wild, I guess. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And to look back now, that'd be almost 5 years ago, which is
Yeah.
crazy. To think of the journey that I've been on since then, and the places I've been blessed to go and see and do. And
Yeah, you have the resume of a 20-year veteran, crammed pretty heavily into a 5-year window, which is pretty wild and not always for everyone. But I think you're right. Such a time as this, God has placed you in that space. Lately, I've been getting annoyed by the word golf space. I think it's because it's used a lot, but it is a space. It's a space to be occupied, and it's a spot where God has placed you and us and everything that's happening now in this. And Restoration Club has not only the opportunity to do it, but is taking full advantage of being in that space and welcoming people to it and inviting them into something different than just a round of golf. We're talking about lifelong changing connections. And I think that's what's powerful, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
guys, episode 4, season 3.
34.
Jeff Marsh made it. We did this. Not that it's over. We'll have to get him back for season 4. But what an amazing time. We're about to go off the grid for the next 3 days, so no one will hear anything from us. But in the meantime, we hope that everything is going well for you. And as we always close down this podcast with the same statement, we hope that you keep swinging. Keep swinging.